I want to bring Olamide Odekule, who is standing by for Trending Now into this conversation. I know you lived in Abuja for a while. Did you ever visit that site in Mpape?
Honestly, I haven't actually, but it looks absolutely beautiful. And I love the fact that we're taking tourism as a tangible export and we're looking into stories like this and abandoned places like this. I look forward to seeing that same site in a couple of years.
Absolutely. Take it away then.
Absolutely. Good morning. As usual, TVC has a finger on the pulse, and if it's trending, then we are definitely going to be talking about it. In our first story, yesterday, a viral video circulated on social media capturing a livid Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. Now, the heated outburst followed Justice Binta Nyako's decision on Monday, February 10th, to indefinitely adjourn his trial after Kanu insisted she could not preside over his case. Let's take a look at this short clip.
It's a federal gazetted law of Nigeria that says here that the chief judge of Nigeria cannot tell Binta Nyako what to do. It's here. It's your law. Just obey it. That is why I do what I do. I agitate for Biafra. I agitate for Biafra, my right to agitate. My right. They don't.
Kanu had earlier filed a petition against Justice Nyako, and he accused her of judicial misconduct and demanded that the case be transferred to the Southeast. As usual, I am extremely curious to know what the people are thinking. Let's take a look at social media. Nedu tweeted, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is a victim of Nigeria's criminal justice system. Even judges don't know the laws of Nigeria. He needs to be released over this charade of judicial rascality. Olusegun says, the fact remains that you might not like Mazi, but everything he's saying is the truth. T. Oracle says, a lack of knowledge of the law, even from the so-called SAN. Damoxy tweeted, he's going to rot in detention. He doesn't know what he has entered into. All this shout will never save him. He cannot intimidate anyone. He can only shout. And finally, Joe tweeted, but wait, doesn't this guy have lawyers? I've never seen anyone represent himself in court. It's called the concept of pro se, and we see this with a lot of charismatic figures who take laws into their own hands. We look forward to watching this story as it unfolds. In our next story, Dele Oyewale, the head of media for the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the EFCC, it's trending online after he stated that many home intrusions attributed to the agency are actually carried out by imposters. Now, his comments come amid growing public scrutiny following the death of EFCC officer last month, Aminu Sahabi Salisu, during a sting operation. Take a look at what Dele Oyewale had to say.
It's a carrot and stick thing. We have our own way of dealing with that. Okay. And don't forget that it is not all of these cases where you have people breaking in and, you know, all of this. Most times, they are not EFCC officers. I am telling you. I have had calls severally to say that some of these kids that you see online, you see people wearing happy car, wearing all these funny things. No, now, that's not EFCC. I'm telling you. But people do that to discredit us, and we have been shouting and shouting and shouting, making, I can't recollect how many press statements I have written to say that all of these people, they are not from us. Now, if someone comes and he says, oh, I am from the EFCC, ask him to establish his identity.
Now, of course, this video is inciting conversation over the ethics and transparency of the agency's tactics. Oyewale's statement aims to distance the EFCC from unauthorized raids, but many Nigerians are, of course, remaining skeptical, and they're questioning the agency's accountability and the potential misuse of its authority. I'm going to take a look at some social commentary now to hear what you guys are saying about this. Rinu Oduala tweeted, you have heard from the head of the official EFCC. Well, he's actually the spokesperson. Anyone breaking into your house under the guise of EFCC is an armed robber. Finding Solace had this to say. She says, I should call you to verify in the middle of the night when your customer service lines are not even available during the day. It's important that we ask the tough questions. OK Belgium tweeted, they are not EFCC until one of them is shot and he magically turns out to be EFCC. And finally, Renu, the same Renu says, so the one who was shot dead wasn't an EFCC officer. Got it. Now, I think it's very, very important that the agency clarify for us right now. You know, how are we able to be distinct and know who is an EFCC official and who is an armed robber or who is an intruder? What do you guys think about this?
They have told you what to do as Nigerians. Obviously, people are reacting as the matter of trust is still a major issue here. That's why people are reacting the way they are reacting when it comes to this matter. They say, reach out to us to confirm, request for their ID cards, request for anything to identify themselves. And if at the heat of the moment that you couldn't do that, then perhaps afterwards you can look at filing a case before the courts to say that these are the issues. If eventually you find out that it's an EFCC official that came to invade your space, whichever way you see. But as an EFCC official, you should have a means of identifying yourself as you say that you are invading people's home. But to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's case now, Justice Binta Nyako had recused herself from his case initially, but now the case is before her, and he is really livid about this whole matter. I believe that the technicalities of his case and the law, a lot of people do not understand it. So I believe in due course, people will begin to understand the matters around his case.
Well, Nnamdi Kanu, you know, a very illegal drone battle is been there for like, it's not going to end. But then we hope that it ends, you know, anytime soon because of the political, you know, not interference, you know, trying to settle things amicably. But his agitation, his anger, even to his lawyer, further adds another layer to his legal battle, you know, with the federal government. But I want to believe as what he says, because Southeast, we need peace in the Southeast. He is fighting their cause, according to him, that if he is released, well, is it 1 minute or a second?
2 minutes.
2 minutes. Yeah, he said 2 minutes. The Southeast will return to, you know, what it used to be, you know, the glorious Southeast. So we just hope that, you know, they find, you know, a middle ground and resolve this issue so that Nnamdi Kanu can go back to his family and his people. I mean,
I'm a staunch believer that when you want to raise a point or advocate for yourself, anger really takes away from your point. So people are not focusing on what Nnamdi Kanu is saying, but the way in which he's saying it detracts from his point. But
that's typical of an activist. You don't expect an activist to speak, you know, quietly.
But touching or tapping your lawyer to say, I'm talking, don't say, that was wrong from my perspective. That was wrong. You should be able to hold yourself, to just manage your anger, your emotions, whatever the case. That's but for me, that was wrong.
That's right.
Let's all be calming down. Moving on, in entertainment news, Nigerian music icon Two-Face Idibia. Nigerian music icon Two-Face Idibia caused a stir at the Edo State House of Assembly yesterday as his unexpected presence reportedly disrupted assembly proceedings. Now, rumors are suggesting that Tubaba is romantically involved with Natasha Osawaru, a member of the Edo State House of Assembly, although the lawmaker has come out to deny the allegations. Now, this comes just a few weeks after Tubaba announced his separation from Annie Idibia, his wife of over a decade. Once again, I have to beg the question, why is this trending? But my mandate here is to bring you what everybody is talking about, and we're talking about this. Let's take some social media tweets right now. OG Makoko says, so meanwhile, anyone can decide to invite himself into the House of Assembly? The ancestor tweeted, what is his business in Edo State House of Assembly? Has lawlessness been so entrenched that anyone can bash into the hallowed chambers? Omo Kogi says, this country should have a channel on Netflix, I agree. And finally, Pat says, what is wrong with Two-Face being at the Edo State House of Assembly? Is he not a free citizen of the country? In fact, they should appreciate that the star-studded person is with them. It's a plus for them if you ask me. I think that the affairs of two grown adults who choose to be in a relationship, regardless of them being public affairs, should stay just that, their personal business. Moving on now in international news. The UK Prime Minister, Sir Keir Starmer, has publicly taken a HIV test on camera to help destigmatize testing for the virus. In a video released by his office, Starmer used a rapid home test on Downing Street as part of a nationwide initiative encouraging HIV testing. Let's take a look at this clip of him getting tested.
And it's just press here, is it?
Yeah, just press there. There's a little spring in it to get a little shock, but it doesn't hurt. You'll get a little...
Wrong. There's about just under 5,000 people who, at the moment, have got HIV but don't know.
That's right.
So if they're tested, they will know. And it is a good thing to know.
That you need to open, because that's where the magic happens.
This here?
If you open that, that's got the test kit
right
in it, and I'll just open the... Absolutely. So what
Well,
you'll
look at that.
see is a dot will appear. I hope it's coming up, and that means the test has worked.
Okay. No, I'm really pleased to do it, and I'm surprised that I'm the first one to have done it, actually. But let's try and encourage all other leaders to do the same thing, because it's really important to show that it's easy, it's convenient, and it is much better to know.
He is now calling on world leaders to do the same, and he's emphasizing that normalizing testing is crucial in the fight against HIV. His move has, of course, sparked discussions on the role of public figures in promoting health awareness and destigmatizing diseases. I'd love to take some tweets about this. Very courageous of him. Thomas King says, "Thank you for raising awareness and leading by example, Sir Keir. You're an amazing Prime Minister." I will agree. Scott Lewis says, "Keir, you've got bigger problems than HIV testing to focus on, like the border crisis, skyrocketing crime, and an economy on its knees." My Name is Earl tweeted, "You've been married nearly 20 years. Why do you now feel the need to tell the world you've not got the HIV? I don't think that was the point of this." Bean on Wine says, "Tomorrow Keir Starmer will take a pregnancy test." That's a shame, and we need to take these matters very seriously. But in light of the recent pulling of aid by Trump to the PEPFAR fund and to many countries for foreign aid for the HIV epidemic, it's important that we're having these conversations, and it's a very, very timely time for Keir Starmer to show that he's standing with HIV victims and that he's taking the virus seriously. It takes a very empathetic type of leader to stand and take this type of test and stand with people who have the virus. What do you guys think about this?
Absolutely. Although the tweets, the response have been very interesting, but he has said that his mandate is to ensure that he kicks HIV transmission by 2030, because he has become the first Prime Minister and G7 leader to do so. And it's good to see that. But the people also have to understand that figures like this encourage people to take the test, because it's now from home, and so he's trying to show that it is easier to do now, to know your status. There's nothing wrong with him doing it even after 30 years. Transmission is not just from, you can be from hospital, from anywhere. So he has to do that to encourage others to also know their status. So it's important. Now to Two-Face. I don't know what we are taking, what we are doing in our society now, where we begin to water down the certain areas. For instance, the State House of Assembly, people just walking in, just as we have complained about how people have watered down how we recognize or respect traditional institutions. That is what we are beginning to do with places like the State House of Assembly when we begin to see things like this. I'm not saying Two-Face cannot go there, but what did he go and do there? What is his business at that place? That's my question.
Well, I also concur, but I remember Two-Face performing in Ogun State recently, where he was saying, because they're saying that maybe he's in a relationship with one of the lawmakers, Natasha.
That's not even our business.
So he now said, he was saying on that stage that, I know they give belay again, I don't repent, I know they give belay again. So let's just hope that he is living through to his words, they give belly again. And talking about Kestama, good one. The stigmatizing virus is something that is very good. And just like you said, when you have figures like that doing that, it will also encourage others to do it. Whether other leaders will now do it, will now follow suit, I do not know. But the last time I checked, the last time I checked, I don't think Trump pulling out HIV and AIDS to other countries, it doesn't affect UK, does it? So we won't say maybe that's why the UK Prime Minister is testing.
It's showing that he's taking a stance and he takes the virus very seriously.
Yeah,
absolutely. And especially, it's a timely conversation. I mean, why now? He's had years to do this. So I think that he's taking a stance for the people with the virus. I'm curious, do you guys see any of our Nigerian leaders doing this anytime soon? Taking a test publicly?
If it's not part of the agenda, why would they even do it? If it's not part of their manifesto or not part of political strategy, because it could be.
But when the COVID happened, we had seen some of our leaders do the test publicly.
Yes.
So it's not just about HIV; it's about they positioning themselves to encourage others to do what they need to do. So they have done it. So concerning HIV, we do not know, but they have done other tests.
So let's see who is taking pregnancy tests.
Anyway, let's leave the conversation because our time is up. But thank you, Olamide, for bringing us this.